Hello, my name is Brett Van Hooser, and you are live from Utrecht. We are at Sport Park de Paperclip. Try and say that 3 times fast. Sport Park de Paperclip, Utrecht, Netherlands, for the softball qualifiers for the European and African Road to Tokyo in 2020. Our guests today that are sitting beside me are Craig and Jeroen, who you've met also yesterday. And getting into today's show, the plan is to get you through the recap of what happened yesterday. We've got some interviews with some national team players, ex-national team players, and we'll cover all the standings and fill you in on exactly what happened this morning, since this is a live show. So for today, we're going to start with the game of the day, and we're going to get into the highlights of Netherlands and Spain. So the game yesterday, Netherlands against Spain. You see Britt Funk here, Cal Berkeley, All-American, Olympian. This team right now is very, very strong. They got off to another win yesterday, 7-0 against Spain. Great pitching. Hopefully the weather, they hold up with everything with that. But what was your takeaway as far as the game with the Netherlands?
Well, we've seen another great performance from the Netherlands, an easy win. They took away 7-0 run-ahead rule. A couple of good performances in the game, like Britt Funk going 1 for 1, having a walk, possibly scoring 2 runs. We saw Jessie van Aalst having a great day. She went 2 for 3, scored 2 runs.
That's perfect. Let's hear what Coach Connie Clark had to say about the game.
Guys. Hello once again, this is Brett Van Hooser back in Utrecht at the softball qualifier for the Road to Tokyo 2020. I'm standing here with Coach Connie Clark after the second win for the Netherlands in this tournament. How does that feel?
Feels good. I mean, it's 2. We still got work to do, but we got to take it one at a time. So we got the second one done, and now we'll get back to work tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah. South Africa yesterday, and then Spain today. 7-0 win for you guys. What's the competition? How does it raise for you guys next opponent with Great Britain? They're number 2, number 3 ranked in this tournament?
You know, it gets a little more difficult each day. You know, and I think our coaches are doing a great job with the scouting pieces that we have in place, and trying to take it one day at a time and be able to play on the evening. So, we've looked at GB a little bit, but obviously we have a window of time in the morning where we get some scout sessions with the staff and the TV, and not to bombard them with information because you want to just go out and play and attack. But I think there's some little things and just little nuances that you pick up that can help you hopefully get it done, and just kind of focus on some of the little things versus one thing.
Well, we hope you guys have a great turnout tomorrow and another win, so that you guys set yourself up great for the weekend. I'll let you guys get back with your team and coaches, and have a great night.
Awesome.
So Coach Connie's happy again after a 2-0 start in this tournament. Jeroen, you called the game last night live. What's your takeaway from how this coach this year has prepared this team for the Road to Tokyo?
Well, the big difference that you see right now, we're 2 games into the tournament and everybody has played. She's making sure that everybody's taking the bats, everybody's thrown in the circle. She wants to get, like we said yesterday, she wants to get all the jitters out of the way, make sure that everybody's ready to go for the important games coming up in the next 3 days.
Absolutely, that sounds great. I think getting into, before we get into the highlights of a couple of special players that we've got coming up with this interview, Craig, what's your takeaway as far as the growth of the national team program? You're very familiar with a lot of these players growing up through the system. What's your feeling of where they stand today?
Yeah, it's just very cool to see these young players when they first started in our program and gaining so much experience, international games, becoming excellent players, gaining more confidence. I thought last night's game was a perfect example of that. They did all the little things right. They were very aggressive. I agree with Jeroen. Coach took it right to them in the beginning. Britt got on first base, stole second. We did the same thing, Lichtfoot, when she had the opportunity. So they took it right to them. They found a weakness in the Spain defense with the catcher and stole the bases. And what was quite unusual in the game, I think there were 4 sacrifice flies that brought home a run. And just a really good team effort.
I think this team is playing very, very well together. Some of them have played together for a long time. So we've got 2 special guests in the interview after last night's game. We've got Britt and Chantel. They are former Olympians as well. And that's part of what they've got here as a collective unit, a lot of new and older players working together. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Here's the interview with Chantel and Britt.
Chantal en Brit, van harte gefeliciteerd met jullie jubileum. 150 wedstrijden in het Nederlands team. Hoe voelt dat?
Ja, heel goed. Heel trots. En wat ik net al zei op het veld, het doet me realiseren hoe oud ik eigenlijk nu word en hoeveel wedstrijden ik heb gespeeld. Maar ja, ik ben heel trots.
Mag ik even zeggen als oudere man dat je er nog geweldig jong uitziet. Chantal, hoe voelt dat?
Ja, nee, ik vind het vooral heel leuk dat het nu gebeurt. Ik bedoel, het had niet vorig jaar op de Super Six of zo, dan had het waarschijnlijk een andere lading gehad. Maar nu is het wel, ja, het is nu echt heel vet en iedereen erbij en al je eigen mensen. Dus het is...
Gaat dit jubileum een stimulans geven om straks gewoon hier weg te gaan om in een vliegtuig naar Japan te gaan?
Ja, we zeiden al net in de dugout van, nou, nu moeten we naar de Olympische Spelen. Want volgens mij staat het record op 156. Dus wij zeggen, nou, wij moeten natuurlijk gewoon daar overheen en daar moeten we naar de Olympische Spelen, toch?
Het lijkt me een goed argument.
Ja, er komen inderdaad steeds meer redenen bij om gewoon het goed te doen de komende 3 jaar. Dus,
nou, ik mag het van harte hopen. Ik hoop dat ik nog jaren van jullie kan genieten, want hier staan echte kanjers. Dankjewel.
Oh, dankjewel.
And as we come back in, we are going to take a look at some of the public videos that we've captured throughout the tournament. You get a little bit of an understanding of the atmosphere here. Obviously, there's a lot of orange for the Netherlands, the host country, but a lot of teams' fans have traveled very, very well. You see a big crowd. Great food, fun, fan-friendly. Bring your kids. If you're coming out to the ballpark, definitely bring some water and sunscreen. It's going to be very, very warm, but you're going to have some really, really high-quality softball, especially with the Netherlands-Great Britain game tonight, which we'll get into as we move forward. I think right now, as far as the atmosphere here for the international tournament for the Olympics is great, and you see the fans waving to us. We're going to say goodbye to them as we move into the next interview with another special guest, Ario.
Goed mensen, ik sta hier met een supporter die van ver is gekomen. Kun je je even voorstellen?
Ja, mijn naam is Ario Carperien. Wij komen uit het hoge noorden deze kant op Kopers om vandaag hier het toernooi te mogen aanschouwen. Met heel veel plezier.
Wij zijn met elkaar in contact gekomen omdat we nogal wat clinics geven. Zou dit een goede zaak zijn om onze kinderen die we deze clinics aanbieden ook hierop te wijzen dat hier zo'n prachtig toernooi is?
Ja, dat is natuurlijk fantastisch. Sowieso super om de sport softbal te promoten, ook in het noorden. Je merkt dat het hier in het midden en westen, zuiden van het land al een wat populairdere sport is. Ja, en er valt nog een hoop winst te behalen. En dan is het natuurlijk geweldig dat in ons geval de Oranje Dames ook in het noorden des lands waren om clinics te geven. Dus ja, dat zullen wij altijd promoten.
Ik reken er nog een beetje op dat we binnenkort een club gaan oprichten in het Stadskanaal.
Ja, daar gaan we wel voor. Hè? Dat zou fantastisch zijn. Dus daar gaan we zeker de schouders onder stoppen om te kijken of we dat voor elkaar krijgen. Maar ja, volgens mij het animo en enthousiasme bij de kinderen, daar ontbreekt het niet aan.
Ik neem aan dat je de volgende wedstrijden wel live gaat bekijken nu je dit spektakel hebt gezien.
Ja, we hebben vandaag live mogen aanschouwen wat jullie allemaal doen met de Softball Dino televisie. Dus ja, dat gaan we zeker doen. We blijven het volgen en hopelijk tot in Tokio. Hè?
Nou, ik wens je, dat hoop ik ook. Ik wens je een fijne terugreis en doe ze de groeten in Groningen.
Dankjewel, jullie heel veel succes.
Bedankt.
So from everybody here in Softball Dino, the KNBSB, thank you Ario for all your hard work with the clinics. It's super important to get the youth involved, develop the talent. We thank you for all your hard work and preparation for doing that. We've got another special interview here with Annemiek. She's a fan of the Kingdom of the Netherlands as well. So let's see what she has to say after last night's win.
Goed, dames en heren, ik sta hier met Annemiek de Rover. Een grote fan van Softball Dino TV en groot fan van het Nederlands team.
absoluut.
En je kunt hier dus absoluut niet ontbreken. Ben je alle dagen hier, Annemiek?
Ik ben er morgen even niet, want dan speelt AZ thuis, een hele belangrijke wedstrijd. Dus die moet ik even steunen. Dus dat is wel balen, maar de rest van de dagen ben ik er echt 100%.
Nou, valt me een beetje tegen.
Ja, sorry Koos, ik snap het.
Een beetje tegen. Ik heb gezegd, nou, ik heb Annemiek erover zien lopen. Ik heb haar gisteravond al uitgenodigd van na de wedstrijd moeten ze toch zeker even komen. Want ze willen in ieder geval even de groeten aan de zus doen.
Ja, even Evelien, als je kijkt, ik hou van je, lieve zuster.
Nou, dat zijn onze supporters. Wat vond je van de wedstrijd?
Nou, dit was een eitje. Een eitje. Het was gewoon, Nederland is gewoon oppermachtig. Kom op.
Ik sprak Maricela de Win, die was hier met de oud-internationals hier. Die zei van 10-0. Toen dacht ik, nou, dat is een positieve instelling.
Ja, maar dit is toch ook, ik bedoel, deze gisteren en vandaag, dat zijn inkomertjes voor het Nederlands team. En morgen wordt misschien op papier wat spannender, maar ik denk het niet. Ik denk dat Nederland morgen ook gewoon echt baas is en dat het misschien zaterdag een beetje spannend wordt. Maar
Geef me een uitslag. Geef me een uitslag.
Morgen?
Ja.
5-0. Ja, ik denk geen 5 innings dit keer, maar ik denk wel dat Nederland gewoon oppermachtig.
Ik ga akkoord.
Oké, doen we het daarvoor.
Bedankt, Annemiek.
Graag gedaan, Koos.
En goede thuisreis.
Dankjewel.
Doei, doei.
Dankjewel.
Thanks again, Annemiek. We hope everybody here is having such a good time, just like you. Maricela de Wind, who's an ex-national team player as well, was one of over 150 ex and former national team players brought in last night by the KNBSB to support this team, which is pretty impressive. Let's see what she had to say about that experience.
Goedemiddag dames en heren, ik sta hier met Maricela de Wind die in het kader van uitnodigingen voor de oud-internationals hier naar het OKT-toernooi is gekomen. En mijn vraag is eigenlijk aan jou Maricela, hoe is dat als oud-international op zo'n toernooi te komen?
Vooral heel leuk. Het is heel leuk om weer de sfeer te proeven, maar ook om alle meiden waarmee je natuurlijk jaren hebt gespeeld, om die allemaal bij elkaar te zien. Normaal als je naar een wedstrijd gaat, dan kom je 1 of 2 of misschien 3 mensen tegen. Maar nu om met z'n allen bij zo'n evenement aanwezig te zijn en even met elkaar op de foto te gaan zoals we net hebben gedaan, dat is natuurlijk wel heel bijzonder.
Jij bent natuurlijk supporter van het Nederlands team vanavond. Hoe zit het met je eigen carrière? Speel je nog softbal?
Nee, ik ben helemaal gestopt met softballen en ik ben gegaan voor de maatschappelijke carrière, zoals ze dat noemen.
Mag ik ook nog vragen wat die maatschappelijke carrière dan is?
Zeker, zeker. Ik werk tegenwoordig als bedrijfsjurist.
Kijk, dat had ik eigenlijk altijd wel een beetje achter jou gezocht. Jij bent fan van Oranje vanavond. Wat denk je van de wedstrijd?
Ik schat de kansen wel goed in, positief in. En ik denk dat het een mooie wedstrijd wordt. Ik denk dat Oranje er een mooie avond van gaat maken voor de supporters. En voor zichzelf natuurlijk.
Durf je een uitslag te voorspellen?
Oh, dat is altijd gevaarlijk, hè? Nou, om het toch niet te negatief te maken, hou ik hem op 10-0.
Zo, dat is niet bepaald negatief. Maricela, ik hoop dat iedereen zo achter het Nederlandse team staat. Dan gaan we heel wat beleven. Dank je voor dit interview en veel plezier vanavond.
Dankjewel.
And that's what I love about this tournament. What we've just witnessed over the last couple of minutes is the past, the present, and the future of the Kingdom of the Netherlands softball, which is great. So you've got the youth programs being developed, you've got the current players putting on great entertainment, high quality softball, and then you've got the past players coming out to support them in everything that we're doing. I think that's pretty impressive. Speaking of the past, right, you're very familiar with a lot of these players, the history of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, baseball and softball. Why don't you take us down a little bit of that road?
Well, it is a long road, but hopefully that road leads to Tokyo, and that's the whole idea behind the tournament here. The Federation has done a great job over the past 10, 15 years trying to improve its program, more international experience. The players have become more professional, devoting more time to the sport, but what a lot of people don't realize who are on the outside, the players and the staff and a number of people behind the scenes really just offer so much of their free time to help this sport. It's not part of the culture here in the Netherlands. There aren't that many players to choose from, and I think a lot of people forget that sometimes, that with such a small pool of talent, what they've accomplished, that's I just tip my hat to that. And it's a lot of people involved.
It's extremely impressive. It's a very small country, but there's a lot of talent coming through. And especially these days, the way you guys have built the program over here, you've got to see them firsthand, Jeroen. You've called their games. You're very familiar with the players. Going into tonight's game against Great Britain, we'll get to some of that later, but I think your takeaway from the way they played yesterday compared to the first day where they had a little bit of a lighter game. Yesterday, they took advantage of Spain in the Europeans just a few weeks ago. They didn't play them quite as well yesterday, but they looked very confident and consistent. I think the question then would be, with the consistency that you've seen over the last 2 days, what do you think the biggest thing they have to do to take a game against Great Britain today?
Well, the Netherlands at the moment are playing very efficient. Craig already mentioned it yesterday, 4 runs on 4 sacrifice flies. I mean, that's what you need to do. Every time a runner gets in the scoring position, you need to have that mentality that runner is coming in. And they're doing a really good job at the moment of bringing the runners in. Plus, the energy is good. I mean, players are having fun, they're enjoying themselves, and you see that the team, they're all picking each other up, they're doing the little things for each other, and that's really nice to see. I think the Netherlands at the moment, the atmosphere in the group is really good.
Yeah, it's not just the atmosphere in the group, it's around the entire ballpark. The way these players interact with each other on a daily basis, especially from the club level. You've got a lot of club supporters out here. Their best players are on this national team, and you see all those players and teammates come out to support it. It's pretty impressive. What is your favorite part about being involved with the Kingdom of the Netherlands softball, Craig?
Well, I've been a part of it for a long time, so just seeing it continue to grow and develop, and sometimes take a baby step and sometimes a step backward, but never giving up. I think if I look at the opponents that the Dutch team will have to face in the next few days, there's something special. They really, and I know that when I coach the team myself. It's a group. It's when you talk about a team sport, I think that might be their strongest quality. It's everybody's got everybody's back and they're in it together, and no excuses. So I think mentally they are strong. I think on paper, my personal opinion, Italy has better talent, better players individually. But in this format, anything can happen. But I think the Dutch have a better team. I think they've been together longer. And I think that's going to be a factor in helping them reach their goal. And I would not count Great Britain out because they've been growing as well. And I've been following them, coached some of their players too, and excellent team.
And way back in 2008, back when the Kingdom of the Netherlands made the last Olympics, obviously there's been a gap in between. We're hoping it's going to stick around. We'll see what happens. But as we see what happens, let's go back into the past again and go over the results of yesterday's games. So France took an 11-2 victory over Botswana. South Africa took a loss to Great Britain, who the Kingdom of the Netherlands will play later tonight. Czech Republic, a 0-2 loss. Italy came out strong against a tough Czech opponent. They took that very, very important game in that pool. And the Kingdom of the Netherlands, 7-0 over Spain, plays Great Britain tonight. Both of those teams are 2-0. Super important as far as the qualifying matches this weekend and where that's going to go. So this just in as well, France has been eliminated from this tournament as they lost to Italy early this morning. It's already hot out here in the heat. Italy had a tough game yesterday, coming right back to play the first game this morning, but they took care of business. They are now moving on to the weekend. France, thank you for coming. It's been a great experience. You guys played well, and good luck in the future moving forward. I think really the analysis of yesterday's games, you guys were there. We've talked a lot about the Netherlands here today. Let's talk about your feelings on some of these other countries. So South Africa, Botswana, they've come, they've represented, they've had a great time. They're doing great interviews. Their experience has been amazing. Spain, Czech Republic, a very strong team. What's your takeaway on the Czech team in particular, Jeroen?
Well, if you look at yesterday, Czech-Italy was the big one. I mean, you look at the scoreboard, you see the 2-0. It's been a big game, a lot of pressure on that game on both teams. Helena spoke about it yesterday here in the show. Probably for the Czech team, the game of their lives. For most of them, you get one chance ever to compete in the Olympics. Everything's on the line, a lot of pressure involved. But once they got onto the field, they were going for it. It was a true pitching duel. It was great at Cicchetti pitching for Italy. She threw an amazing game. I looked at it, 7 innings. Czech only made it to 2 hits. She threw no walks, 11 strikeouts, 0 runs on the board. That's a great pitching performance from Cicchetti. But in the circle for Czech Republic was Pečková, and she was also doing a good job. She threw 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 walks, struck out 6, which is good against a strong hitting team that Italy is. And the 2 runs she gave up were not all on her. I mean, there were some mistakes in the field, little mental errors that were made by the Czech team, and that's maybe the reason they lost that game yesterday.
And that's the quality of softball we're talking about. It's very, very, very few and far between mistakes you can make if you want to make the Olympics. It came down to really 1 or 2 plays in that game yesterday. Defensive play in the outfield by Czech, and then a great defensive play by the Italian third baseman to save a double in the last inning with a 2-run game. I mean, she just laid out full extension, beautiful save, and then obviously just took the energy level up. They closed it out really quick. We'll see what happens with them moving forward. Czech and Italy, both 2 strong teams, and you know, going back into the way they played yesterday, Italy took care of business. We'll see what Czech does later today. But really quick, before we close this thing out, let's discuss what you expect the outcome to be of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and Great Britain. What is the type of softball, the quality, the pitching? What are we supposed to expect when we tune in tonight?
Personally, I think it's going to be a very good game, going to be a very close game. As was the case yesterday with the Czech team, the British team tonight, very dependent on their pitching. If Korik, and I'm assuming she will start, she's their ace, if she can keep the Dutch off the bases in the first few innings and Great Britain gets a little bit confidence, gets on a roll, they'll be tough. If Holland can come out and do what they did last night, aggressive, attack, get a little bit of a jump, I think they'll be okay. And what the Netherlands have to worry about are the 3, 4, 5 hitters from Great Britain. If Narissa Myers comes on up at bat with runners on base, 1 swing of the bat, they could score 2, 3 runs. If they face her more often as possible with no one on base, I think that'll be a key. But I also look for the Netherlands with their speed to really control the game.
Good deal. We really look forward to that game. We're going to see what happens. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. You can catch us on a live stream again tomorrow. We'll continue to bring you updates as far as how this tournament's playing out. We look forward to seeing you out here this weekend. Once again, tune in tomorrow. Jeroen, thanks for your time. Craig, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.